kata, naturally, there's people who think that you should breathe naturally, and there's also people who think that you should make a force exclamation on every move, and sometimes you have moves that link together, and you have multiple moves on one breath. So whatever happens, we know that with our principle mind, breath, body, that the breath is a big part of the equation. It's something we've got to concentrate on, think about, whichever version you subscribe to, it has to be something that happens, otherwise you die. So, little test, when we're hitting, for instance, it could be on any technique, but the hit is an easy one to check. I'm just going to deliberately make noise with the breath now, because otherwise on camera it doesn't really come across. Do you breathe at the end, or do you breathe throughout, or do you breathe well, it's one of those things that you want to test. Your breathing with your technique is either going to go throughout the technique, or it's going to come at the end, or it's going to be before the thing lands. And each of those is going to have a different effect on your body for how it gets delivered. So, would this happen with a lock? Yeah, you want to practice it with your locks. What about if you're on the floor? Yes, wants to be with when you're on the floor. What about when you're doing something light in the kata? You're going to want to breathe perhaps differently to how you breathe when you're moving dynamically. So our breathing is part of what we do. Check it with a partner, holding the pad, and see what happens. Then you can understand that when someone's doing their kata and they go, you know it's too late. And you'll see it too when people are sparring and they come in for a kick maybe and they get carried off and then they go, and they breathe out there. And you work out that there's something that's not quite right about how they're launching the kick. Because it can't be if they're still breathing out after they've done the thing at the end. So we can check it on the pad, and we can check it with things like, I get this lock onto here, and do I go, or do I go, I know you can't see, but I'm really trying to push that before I do the breath. Or do I go and work out for yourself which one works better, and work out in which situations which one's right. Now there's going to be people who say in the middle of a fight you can't judge your breathing that way. You're going to be adrenalised and other stuff's going to kick off. And yet controlling our breathing might be the only thing that we're actually capable of controlling in the middle of any situation. So as it starts to kick off, do I want to start to get ready to breathe more, or do I actually want to sync the breathing, and no matter how adrenalised he becomes, know that I am keeping my centre where I need it to be. Right? So it's another one of those facets of our kata performance that we need to take into being part of our application, and another part of our analysis of application. So excuse the noisy breathing, that's not necessary, we just need to breathe. Perhaps we need to time it differently to different kinds of situations.